A soldier and his wife react to Operation Blue Star. The soldier I came from Bhatinda district in Punjab. In my family there were 3 brothers and 1 sister. We were not a very religious family. My father had unshorn hair, but he was not a baptized Sikh. We were very far from religion and politics, both. In 1984 I was employed in the Indian Army. I worked at the Bhatinda railway station as senior clerk. When I heard that the army had invaded the Golden Temple, I felt very shocked and hurt, even though I was not a religious-minded person. As I was the senior-most man in the detachment, I heard on the radio what was going on during the attack. Everything was under curfew, so I couldn't really see what was happening outside. I heard on the radio that as news spread about the attack on the Golden Temple, Sikh soldiers were deserting their posts and marching towards Amritsar. Then the BBC started reporting that the mutineers who had left their posts were arrested and killed on the way. The thought came to me and Sikhs that the government might kill us here and now, so why not go to Amritsar to try to do something for our religion? We thought, but we didn't go. We just listened on the radio and talked. After this I became a voracious reader. I tried to get as many and other newspapers and magazines as were available. I tried everything I could about my religious tradition and my community. Then I realized that Sikhs were being killed everywhere and that discriminated against in every sphere, and my religious emotions becoming more intense. On 31 October Indira Gandhi was punished by Beyant Singh and Satwant Singh for her misdeeds. Sikhs all over India were then cold-bloodedly murdered in retaliation. I was employed at the railway station. Trains used to come there with all the windows broken and dead bodies inside. Some who survived told gruesome stories. After listening and after seeing what was happening, I couldn't hold my emotions back. That was such a painful experience. The Sikh soldiers, who were coming in on trains and stop station, kept asking me, "Tell us, what should we do now?" But I told them not to act in emotion, otherwise we would all get killed. We have to be organized and do something collectively, I said. My superior officer, who was a Hindu, kept telling me, "Why are you stopping the Sikh soldiers and not letting them go to their duties?" I told him, "The mobs are out to get them and they will kill if I let them go." Then I started using my authority and sanctioned Sikh soldiers' leave applications. I told them not to go any place and stay right where they were. In the 2 days following the punishment of Indira Gandhi, I must have stopped around 200 young Sikh soldiers, who otherwise would probably have gotten killed traveling on trains. Some amongst them were so young and innocent, so they said, "Why are you stopping us from the performance of our duties? We might be held negligent, so let us go to our posts." I told them, "You can only be punished for negligence if you arrive alive there. You will likely get killed on the way, so life is more important in this case." After that episode I decided to get baptized as a Sikh. My whole family was baptized along with me. The Hindu officer in charge got annoyed at this action and had me transferred to Rajasthan there for almost a year, and through my newfound missionary 40 out of the 70 Sikhs in that area started to grow their hair and gave up alcohol. Finally my Hindu OC there got annoyed as well and sent me off to the Madras regiment, where there were no Sikhs. After some time the OC there, also a Hindu, told me to either stop my religious activities or take retirement. "You can't stay in the army preaching Sikhism," he said. I had been transferred 3 times within 2 years, and it was difficult for my family, too. So I went back to my home in Bhatinda and started a small-scale business selling refrigerators. By 1989 I became known in my area and I became press secretary for the Akali Dal, the political party of the Sikhs, for my district. After a year I became the organization's general secretary. We tried to work for the Sikhs through democratic means, demonstrations, processions, rallies and so on, to convince the government that we have some rights as Indian citizens, too. We argued that our rights should not be violated. One time when our Akali Dal leader, Simranjit Singh Man, was visiting Bhatinda to attend a rally. Police surrounded us and without any warning started beating participants in the rally. Simranjit Singh Man was beaten so badly he was taken to the hospital and stayed there for many days. I myself was wounded when I tried to protect Man, and then I was arrested as well. The police charged us with canes, and 9 people were seriously injured, one succumbing to his injuries later on. After that we used to try to help the villages where people had been victims of police harassment, and we used to help the families of those killed, imprisoned, or tortured with money or in other ways. Once we conducted an agitation for a sewer system for Bhatinda, which had been part of municipal planning but was eaten up by corruption. We were successful in that agitation. At that time, I still believed that things could be achieved through the political process. That was what I thought, so I didn't participate in the militant side of the Sikh struggle. But the price for that adherence to peaceful means was that I was taken to the police station, beaten mercilessly, and tortured there. When I and others protested another Indian Army action against the Sikhs, Operation Black Thunder, we wore black flags on our arms and tied cloths around our mouths. I was arrested and thrown in jail for 1 month for that. We were not permitted to even hold peaceful rallies or conventions. Whatever date would be announced for our action, we would be arrested before that and we would not be allowed to reach that engagement. The police and the army were disrupting the peaceful process which we at that time believed in. Youngsters in our organization, who were being harassed day in and day out, they went into hiding and most of them ended up in the armed struggle. Since I knew them, they used to come out of hiding to visit me and I provided them shelter and food. Some of these freedom fighters revealed during interrogation that they had been to my house, and the police started harassing me continuously. Then in February 1992 the government ordered elections in Punjab, and on the call of the freedom fighters the whole Sikh nation decided to boycott the elections. The militants, our sons and daughters, were supported by all the different factions and organization, and we all stood in solidarity against Indian oppression. We were going to hold a meeting about the boycott of the elections in Bhatinda on 8 February, so on 6 February I was arrested. For 3 or 4 days I was tortured by the Criminal Investigation Agency in Bhatinda. They tortured me so badly that I started passing blood while urinating. My family didn't know where I was or what had happened to me. The officers accused me of helping in the boycott of the elections by getting some pamphlets published. They said, "Okay, we'll give you your Khalistan," in a taunting tone. They accused me of harboring militants and telling them to come to me. I said that as General Secretary of the Akali Dal Man Party for our district, anybody who was